Well, hello everyone, it's Chris again. Long time since made a video. Here I am once again making videos. This is more instructional videos, so we can document some of the work that we do every now and then, very sporadic. So if you're watching this, we're just kind of intermittently coming up with some video for you to watch for your pleasure and entertainment. What is this video about? Well, we got ourselves into the tiny home business again, and we've been doing it for years now. Even though we don't document the videos, it's just hard sometimes to sit and put our cameras up and do a demonstration of tiny homes or structures or buildings or whatever we're hauling. Here we are in our yard in Troutdale. We've been doing a bunch of these tiny homes. I want to show you guys some of the concerns we've got with some tiny homes. Not every tiny home, every manufacturer does it the same. So this particular manufacturer does a little different. They do an amazing job on the structures. They produced variation of structures over the years, and they've been very, very good. In this case today, we're talking about a particular model that I don't really know what the model name of this is. What we're looking at is a 40-foot, 10-foot wide, 10.5 wide manufacturer style tiny home with composite sheet siding. I believe it's sheet metal up on top, or it could be that it is. I don't really know what's up there. I know it's a roof of some sort. And I want to say the right thing, so I don't want to say what's up there or what's not out there. Generally, there's aluminum or steel sheeting up there. But in this case, all I've got is a frame, a structure, right? Siding, windows, roof. Obviously, the frame is supported by axles. In this case, these units, we've hauled quite a few of different types of manufactured tiny homes. This particular tiny home is a 4-axle unit. As you can see, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts. So 8,000 pounds, 8,000 pounds, 8,000 pounds, 8,000 pounds. 8 times 4 is 32,000 pounds, right? Axles. So about 32,000. This particular unit, believe it or not, is 40 feet long. From here to there, and a little bit with the tongue extension, so it's maybe like 45 feet. It's 10 foot, 10 and a half wide, and it's 13.6 to the roof, to the center of the roof, right back there. So 13.6 would be right up there. It weighs, believe it or not, 21 or 22,000 pounds. That means 10% or 15% of the tongue weight is up at the front. So it's 20,000 pounds to 2,000 pounds, a little bit more to 3,000, almost 3,000 pounds of force downwards on the tongue. And what does that mean? Well, that means that you better be equipped with the right pintle hitch or the right ball hitch. In this case, as you have seen over the years, we have a variation of hitch styles. We're using here a Kurt 30,000 pound pintle hitch. That's a very good unit, and we're reinforcing it with these binders, ratchet binders. Each one is 9,000 pounds, 9,000 pounds of force. We're anchoring to the plate, to the pintle hitch plate, and we're supporting it upwards. And then, of course, the bolts are holding the pintle hitch itself in place with the insert attached to our 35,000 pound assembly, tow hitch assembly. Of course, we got our fifth wheel up there and the gooseneck adapter and all those other things with our winch up there that we need. And we have, over the years, we have needed this additional bracketing here that we have used for extra support, but we don't need that for this particular tiny home. So we got a 30,000 pound capable hitch insert with a pintle hitch holding the tongue, which is right here, a reinforced tongue. As you can see, they actually did a little bit of welding on top of the original support itself. so they reinforced it. It's got a breakaway brake system there with a 7-way plug and a landing gear or a jack that's manual jack. So believe it or not, the manual jack is a pain because a lot of the weight, as you can see, the axles are sitting all the way back there. So a lot of the weight is up in the front, but about 2,000 pounds or so, close to 3,000, being that it's 21,000 pounds. 21,000 pounds is we actually, I'll show you if I can post the actual scale ticket. It's 21,000 pounds. This unit is, it's supposed to be about 28,000 pounds, but we've got a scale ticket and it's only listed 21,000 pounds. I'm assuming when it's fully loaded, it's going to about 28,000 pounds. Anyway, it's got a number of windows and features that are really cool, recessed, so that way you don't actually get splashed on with drains on the bottom. Of course, the tires are, I believe these are 14 or 16 ply. We got 235s, 80s, R16s, 80s. Sometimes 85s give us a bit of a problem. The manufacturer of these frames sometimes mess things up, not on purpose, obviously. So I'm just documenting this particular tiny home. We've got 3 of them in our inventory here. We've hauled, like I said, oh my goodness, over the years, probably a couple hundred various types of tiny homes. So we're in the tiny home business hauling. We've got a number of units going to all over the place. I'm not gonna say where these are going, but these are gonna be hooked up tomorrow, as well as some of them have already left. These are gonna go out tomorrow and be on the road. We're gonna put oversized signs on obviously on the back side of this tiny home, and then oversized signs on the front of the vehicles. We're gonna be using semi trucks to haul these or pull these. Let me show you, I can't get around this one. So we're here in our yard. It's a little tight this July, what is it, July something. Forget what, 11th I think, or the 10th. July 10th, 2025. Woo! I give you guys a little bit about our calendar. So we're putting oversized signs. You'll see them tomorrow. We did a pre-trip, a post-trip we're gonna do when we get there. But in between trip, we're gonna check all the lights, make certain everything is working. We're gonna check like we have seen, you've seen us do in the videos. We're gonna torque the tires, make sure there's enough torque in the lug nuts. We're gonna make certain that pressure is you know, we're gonna reduce a little bit of pressure because it's freaking hot out there. And so 100 PSI is cold is not ideal because it increases. So we're gonna go about 95, 90s in all these tires. Of course, we're gonna inspect the outside and the inside, make sure nothing's loose, nothing is you know, shifting around. And then we're gonna get on the road. What are we looking at? In this case, 3 tiny homes, all go in the same location. About 15 or so went prior to this. We're hauling these 3 starting tomorrow. And like I said, we're in the tiny home business hauling. And I'll document, I'll show you guys what it looks like, what the equipment we're gonna be using to haul these tiny homes. Again, these are 40 feet long, 4 axle units. With the truck and trailer, we're about 70 feet in length, 10 and a half wide. We have had 12-foot wide units. We have had 10 and a half wide. This is only 10 and a half. And then, of course, 8 and a half wide as well. But they're 13.6. We have had 14 feet tall units. The variation of tiny homes we have hauled from 8 and a half to, like I said, 14 and a half, 15 feet. We have done, you know, park model units. We have done single wide 1 axle or 2 axle units. Sorry, not 1 axle, 2 axle units. To 4 axle and 5 axle units. So with that in mind, give us a call if you need a tiny home moved. You know, look us up. We're Troutdale Towing. You can look us up at troutdaletowing.com. We haul and transport across the country, locally, and we get around a little bit, but we're kind of busy this time of the year. So feel free to reach out. Let us know if we can be of service in any way to haul your tiny home or to be of service hauling for you. Thanks for watching. All right, you guys, so you've seen us set up or move things around. Now we're ready to go. Here's one of the tiny homes. Here's the other tiny home. We're on our way to make these delivered or delivering. We put 6 flags, 3 on each side, 1, 2, 3, oversized signs in the back. We're transporting these tiny homes, believe it or not, with, well, I'm using this guy. Okay. What is this guy? Well, this guy is our heavy wrecker, basically, but we have established a pinwheel hitch assembly here. As you've seen, we've used that before for multiple transports. But yeah, I'm bringing along my True Hitch with it, and the True Hitch is an invention that I think it's an amazing piece of equipment. And so this unit is going to bring back another semi or another vehicle from after we delivered this unit, right? So we're heading out there right now. This is how it's set up. We've got flags on each corner. We've got the oversized sign in the front and the back. I'm bringing my True Hitch with me. As you see right there oversized. Got to do a little bit of paperwork, but we're ready to roll. We checked already the tires, we checked the lugs, we checked the lights, we checked the above roof clearance, we checked the securement. We're pretty ready to roll. We checked the interior. We're ready to roll out of here. Hey, so here we are en route with these tiny homes once again. You know, one of the things, like I mentioned in the previous videos, the manufacturer of these guys all differ. You know, they're different from place to place. Some use good quality work, some don't use such a good, well, everything is good as long as you can put it together right. So every manufacturer does things differently. Sometimes you're in a rush, sometimes the quality is not very good and you still make it work. Well, in this case, these manufactured frame designs are both not so good and not necessarily perfectly put together, but they did a great job with the units that we are using or having or transporting, whatever you want to call it. However, I want to point out some obvious issues. The first thing that you want to address is make certain that if the shipper sends the units out, they put these straps, and these are more like bicycle straps. They're really not designed to hold strong, but these are AC units in the back on a rail system, as you see here, and vibrations and bouncing of the road causes these things to shift quite a bit. So they put these straps on them. We have had numerous problems with these straps, so we sometimes restrap them ourselves. But if you don't put a knot on these straps, these little tiny teeth on here, as vibration continues on the road, loosen up the strap, and eventually the strap gives away and the unit is no longer secured. So always put a knot on the straps if you're using these little dinky straps, as you see here. Put a knot on them so they don't actually let go, because those straps are not quality-wise for securing cargo. They're just designed for, you know, here and there if you're gonna go between one place to another, not necessarily across the country like we're doing. So that is one. Make certain your straps, check it pre-trip, post-trip, in-between trip. Check all your straps, check all your flags, check all your banners, check all your oversized signs, check all your clearance locations, check all your hubs, check all your tires. So, I don't know, about 600-700 miles ago, tires are one thing, hubs are another thing. So immediately, of course, we checked all the bolts in it initially, but all the bolts need to be retightened because this is a brand new unit. So they generally recommend 250 miles, and then you torque the bolts again. Well, we did that already, but during that time, initially about 600 miles or so, we discovered that these hubs, the caps, fall off. And as you see here, you got 3 caps that are still on there. the fourth cap fell off completely. And by the way, the same on the opposite side. So what we do, well, we don't have any caps, but what happens is all that grease starts falling out and spilling all over the tire. And if the caps come out, well, eventually, if you run out of grease, well, you're pretty much screwed, because you can lock up that hub and damage the whole hub and axle itself in the tire. So to prevent that, believe it or not, we've duct taped this over and over many times before. We have literally duct taped the hub or the cap, or there's no really cap, but basically we created a cap around the hub itself, keeping that grease in there so it does not fall out, and it keeps it secured. And but check those hubs, especially when they're brand new. So both units that we're transporting, and by the way, the previous units, the same kind of thing. And since they're brand new, we just add additional tape to the caps so they don't fall off. This one's gone. That one's still holding on. The other three are good. On this other unit, same thing. The caps are on there, but we taped them up just in case, so they don't actually fly off and fall off. We duct tape them. And then on the back side, on this other unit, same thing happened. As you see here, the rear is missing. So we capped it up with duct tape and hold the grease in there. It's important to keep the grease in the hubs, you know, because you're driving 55, 65, 70 miles an hour. So the other thing is you want to check your connections, your pintle hitch here. Make certain the chains are still good. Make sure your drag chain, you make sure your brake, your 7-ways good. We just recently got inspected, and again, the front signs are still there. Both these trucks, and every single time we travel through this area, we always get inspected. So make sure you got your permits with you. If you don't have your permits for that road, for that area, then you're gonna get fined. So we got pulled in, of course. They checked our books, checked everything, checked our permits. They made certain they measured the length of the truck, the trailer, the axles, and yeah, 10.6. Yeah, that's what our permit is allowing. And yeah, we're clear, ready to go, like always. If you don't have your permits, you get fined. If they find something wrong with your unit, that you get fined. If it's something tremendously bad, well, you get put out of service and fined. So make certain that you got all your stuff in a row before you go through the scales. You know, stop at least 50 miles before the next scale and check it. Make sure everything is good. We're continuing en route to make these other 2 deliveries and coming back for others. But essentially, that's what it takes. In between stops, check your stuff, make certain everything is good, like I've always mentioned. And don't forget about your connection points, right? Also the 7-ways and your breakaways and your chains. Make sure everything is good there, and of course make certain the flags are good. Again, this is a 10.6 40 foot. I'm sorry, 10.6 wide, 10.5, 10.6 with the little overhang of the lights and the gutters and the roof. It's 13.6 tall, 40 foot long, with the tongue up in the front, and of course the semi is pulling it. Hello guys, so this is the fun stuff of hauling tiny homes. Here we are with this unit, and guess what? After resting last night, we found that it's got a flat. So my good friend here, Alejandro, is able to fix it on the road, because he's a top mechanic and a good trucker. So we put a fix on this so we can get it to his destination. As you guys have seen, we've dealt with the hub issue. Now we got a flat. So I've got a extension here for his truck that brings in air to his cab, or from his cab, basically from his glad hands. And it's, I think it's on or 50 feet, I think. So anyway, this is the other one that I'm pulling. The hubs are still holding out on this one. We got them duct taped, believe it or not. But as you get on the road, you'll find tire issues, you'll find nails. You gotta be prepared to deal with that. We just dealt with this nail issue here. We checked all the other tires. Last night I had a little bit of an issue with my hitch assembly here. As you can see, the actual reinforcement is bending, or was bent initially, and it bent a little more. But at the same time, it shifted a little bit of this bracketing out. So now it's doing all right. Hopefully it's gonna hold on just fine. Otherwise I'm gonna use this big guy to hook it up. But yeah, everything in the way of transit, you gotta deal with as you can. Thanks for watching. Good morning, everyone. We finally made it here in the fine city of Brownsville, Texas. You know, it's about 3,000 miles away from its original destination where these tiny homes are manufactured. We brought them. There's quite a few of them, 3 in a row here, as you see them. Plus, there's so many more back here. So these are tiny homes manufactured for a purpose. This is considered the SpaceX platform for housing, Elon Musk's SpaceX. We brought 3 tiny homes here back to back, plus we're bringing probably quite a few more. 15 I think prior to this were delivered, and now I lost track of them. But we got a lot more coming down this way. So this is that 4-axle unit that you guys have seen at our yard. We brought it in using semi trucks. I've got that semi truck over there in the front. The other semi truck is sitting all the way in the very, very far end, disconnected. But once you get them over here, you do an inspection. Of course, you do a post trip to make sure everything is still intact and there's no problems with it. Axles are still good. You know, the outside body, the inside body, the roof, all that. We do a thorough inspection on it. And then you relay it to the foremans, the people that have taken it possession of all these tiny homes, and then you're back to square one, going looking for a look. Here's our hitch assembly. Here's our true hitch assembly. Now we didn't get to use this true hitch, but we won't for next time. It was here as a backup, and with that in mind, these tiny homes ride very nice. You know, they're about 21,000 pounds, like I said. Fully loaded 28,000 pounds, perhaps. But we had a great time bringing them down here. We're going to continue rotating more and more every single week. So thanks for watching. If you need a tiny home, give us a call. We work with manufacturers and we transport them directly to your home. If you need access in a off-grid, weird land, this is not really a hard to access land, but if you do, we can set it up with a tote. We can set it up with different hydraulic equipment that we use to make access into your land. Generally, we haul all sizes of tiny homes, all sizes of structures, and call us if you need us. Thanks for watching.